Hi everybody, this is just me documenting some of the progress on the terrain rendering in this WebGL virtual environment I've been working on. I'm finally getting some results. I'm quite pleased with them, and I'm just going to do a real quick demo. So I'm in kind of camera orbit mode, and I'll just grab it and spin it around. I don't know what kind of frame rate we're going to get on the recording, but you should be able to see bits and pieces of terrain sort of fade in as the tiles are generated in a kind of a pool of threads. When I'm moving around like this at very, very quick speeds in orbit mode, it takes a second to catch up. But when you're walking around the character at sort of human speeds, it's very kind of consistent over time. The updates are pretty minimal and almost invisible. We're looking at a chunk of Death Valley here. That it's actually not Death Valley. It's like, I don't know, like a couple miles north of Death Valley. It's just whatever the USGS website ended up giving me. I haven't quite figured out this national map download system. I haven't quite figured out how to get precisely what I wanted. But so we're looking at about like 6 by 8 kilometers or something. We are resing the terrain at a maximum resolution of 1 meter, although the data set doesn't contain 1 meter resolution. We actually, if I get in really close here, you can see as we get close, we start adding some procedurally generated details. Oh, look, it dropped under there for a second. It's just a little bit of noise. And here you can see some of the noise that just kind of gives us a little bit of something to look at when we're at these very, very fine resolutions, because the data doesn't include it. I'm doing a bicubic filter on the incoming data to prevent all the kind of edginess that you might get from a bilinear filter. And I'm parsing a .bt terrain file, which is something from these guys at the Virtual Terrain Project, VTP. So there it is. Let me flip over to wireframe mode so you can see what's really going on. So here we are in wireframe, and here you can see the border between two sets of tiles, right? The low res and the high res. And as I move the camera around, you can see it's kind of constantly updating which tiles are in high resolution. You actually see, since I'm above the ground, it's low res, and I get closer, it'll kind of step up like a kind of a MIP level, all the way until we hit about 1 meter. There's 1 meter right there. And if I just back off, you can see it all disappear like that. So there you have it. In practice, these updates are pretty subtle. Let me go back to full screen. Sorry, not full screen, non-wireframe there. And if I go into kind of this mode that lets me move forward at more human speeds, there was an update right there. Let's see if we can catch another one. There was another one. That one was a little bit more obvious. Still moving pretty quickly here. Now you can see these very subtle little fade-ins as I move up along the terrain surface here. There's another one. Yeah, but all in all, I'm very pleased with the results there. One thing that is nifty is that this whole system continues to work with the collision detection as well. So I'm not going to log out and log back in, but the characters can walk around on top of the surface, which is pretty neat. Currently, the algorithm doesn't really care what the data is, right? So the renderer kind of meshes over any given height function without caring what that height function is. Eventually, I like to start looking into like paging in terrain data. Currently, this whole chunk of terrain is in memory at once, or at least the elevation is. Of course, the grids and the WebGL meshes are all created on the fly. But there you have it. So far, I'm quite pleased with it.